Hey CW Bio, Mr. Kennedy here. Today is the first lab of the year for you. We're going to be doing some video recordings for you so that you can get an idea of how to do these labs, but it's going to be your job to watch and listen and to record things that we're doing and then use that to complete the handouts that we're going to be giving you virtually through our Google Classroom pages or our websites. Today's experiment is the Gummy Bear Lab. And if you go to our class webpage, you should be able to find this handout, the Gummy Bear Lab. All right, and that's what you're gonna fill out as we do the experiment with you today. All right, CW Bio, we're gonna get started with our first experiment of the year. I've got a couple of helpers with me, working with me today. I've got over here, Mrs. Munster.
What's up, C-Dub? How's it going?
And over here,
hello.
Mrs. V.
Hi, how you doing?
All right, now we're just about ready to get started. Before we start any experiment, we have to remember proper safety equipment. Remember, we're professionals. Don't try this at home. All right, so you can see I've got a face shield on. I've got a lab coat on to protect me. I also need my students to have lab protective equipment on as well. So we're gonna start with
eye protection.
eye protection for Mrs. Munster. And
gloves.
all right, looks like we've got all the proper safety equipment in place. Next step is to begin our experiment. Okay, we're ready to get this experiment started. Couple of last pieces of safety that we got to talk about. Number one, don't ever eat anything in the lab. Oh, yeah, don't ever eat. Rule number two, don't ever drink anything in the lab. And lastly, if there's ever a spill, notify your teacher immediately. Okay, gang, time to get started with this experiment. Now, I'm going to take you through the room, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff that's sitting out on the table in front of my two helpers. And as I do that, I want you to remember the original question in this experiment. Apply the scientific method to determine what will cause a gummy bear to dissolve, right? That's what this is all about, learning about the scientific method, applying it to try to figure out what will cause a gummy bear to dissolve. So let's take a look at what we have on our two tables here. Okay, here over on table one with Mrs. Munster, right?
All right, we've got our yellow gummy bears, 4 cups, and my choices are salt, baking soda, and sugar. These are the things that I'm going to use to try to see if I can get a gummy bear to dissolve.
Okay, and then moving across the room, we've got Mrs. V. And what does she get?
I got liquids, because I think liquids are going to do something. So I got water, and I have vinegar, and I have alcohol. And this is baby oil, but it's pretty much mineral oil. I got my gummy bears that are yellow, just like Mrs. Munster's. I got my cups in here, and I want them to do in the liquid because I like my gummy bears swimming.
That sounds awesome. Okay, so we're going to set this up next. Okay, gang, it's experiment time. Now I'm going to take you over one at a time to my helpers so that you can see and hear from them exactly how they're setting their experiment up. Now you need to pay very close attention to what you see and what you hear them say, because they're going to give you information that you're going to need in order to fill out your Gummy Bear Lab handout, right? They're not going to tell you all the parts of the experiment, so you got to watch and you got to listen so that you can pick out those parts of the experiment as they explain what they're doing. Okay, so pay very, very close attention. We're going to start with Mrs. Munster.
Hey there, everybody. I decided I'm going to do 4 cups. So I have my 4 cups, and I'm going to use my yellow gummy bears. These bears are going to be in these cups to represent what may happen inside of your body, what might make something dissolve. So first, I'm going to take and measure my bears using the centimeter side of my ruler. And then I'm going to place 2 bears in each cup. Once I get my bears in my cup, I'm going to take my materials. I'm going to start with salt. And I'm going to leave 1 cup empty just by itself. And then I'm going to start with salt. And I'm going to cover my bears with salt. So that if it's covered, it means that it's getting full contact on all of the bears. So I'm going to cover the first cup with salt. My next cup is going to be baking soda. So then I'm going to cover up that bear with baking soda for full coverage. And then my last cup is going to be sugar, because I think these dry ingredients are going to be what help these bears to dissolve. For me, that's going to mean that after the experiment is over, they're going to change size. They're going to change length. That's what I'm going to measure.
So on this side, I decided to do liquid. So just like Mrs. Munster, I'm going to start with my ruler. I'm going to measure my bears with the centimeter sign, as scientists use centimeters, not inches. And so then I'm going to go ahead and just like Miss Munster, I'm going to put 2 in each bowl. Okay, and they are yellow. And then I'm going to add my materials because my little guys, they want to go swimming. So here we go. We're going to have some water. Oh no, I'm drowning. Ah! Then we're going to have some vinegar. Now, of course, we don't. I can open it. Then we're going to add some vinegar. Oh, stop doing that. Okay, and then we have some alcohol. Whoo! It's sticky. Whoo! And we want to cover them. The next one, oh, smells like a wonderful clean baby. Our baby oil, it's like mineral oil. We're going to add those. Oh, it's kind of slippery in here. I don't know what I'm doing. And then we're going to watch.
All right, gang, so you've seen the experiment that we've set up. We're going to come back in 24 hours. Using the video that you're watching, we need you to go to your Gummy Bear Lab handout and complete as much of it as you can. You've been given all the information you need to work through things like the hypothesis, your procedures. Those are the things that you need to fill out in your Gummy Bear Lab before we come back to see what happened to these bears. 24 hours, we're going to see what happened. All right, everybody, it's been 24 hours. So today's the day we get to see what happened to our gummy bears. So I'm going to take you back over to Mrs. Munster and to Mrs. V, and we're going to see how their experiments played out. Here's Mrs. Munster.
All right, so here's my original bears. This is what they look like. Those are the ones that were in nothing. So I'm going to go put those over here. They're the same size as they were to begin with, so no change. And
What? No! Forky? Is that you?
Forky's helping us out today, and unfortunately we somehow have a new visitor, which I hate bugs, so it's gotta go. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to dig out my other bears, which again, looking at the sugar bears and looking at the salt bears, there's no change whatsoever in size.
What? No!
And this last one, this baking soda bear, same thing, guys. If you thought that those powders were gonna make a difference, right now, it's looking like nothing really happened.
So here we go. So we got our different liquids here. So first we're going to check out, here's like an original gummy bear to give you an idea. So this first one is our water gummy bear. And if you take a look at him, oh, he got fat. He was thirsty. He took it all. So there's our water gummy bear. So you can see, looks like he got a little bit chunky. Maybe some COVID-19 too long there, eating on the couch. All right, next one is our vinegar one. And we're going to take him out. You can kind of see they kind of got a little tiny, a little bit. And if you look inside the liquid here, you can see parts of that gummy bear. It just ate them all up.
What? No!
The second one we're going to look at is our alcohol. And this one, it's still kind of the same. It's still hard too, because these were kind of hard. Miss Munster gave us these ones that she used last year. They're kind of hard. So the alcohol kind of stayed the same. Oh my gosh, no! Did my gummy bear turn into a gummy worm? What happened?
What? No!
Ooh. No, that's just Miss Munster messing with me because hers didn't change. She gave it to me. So the last one we have here is mineral oil. Mineral oil, actually what it did is it made it nice and light. It took all the pigment out of it. It's still hard as a rock. I don't want to eat it, but that's mineral oil. It just kind of took out the color.
All right, everybody. Hopefully you picked up on all kinds of information from Mrs. Munster and Mrs. V. You need to take that information, make a data section for your lab report, talk about those results, and finally come up with a good conclusion. Did these experiments support your hypothesis, what you thought was going to happen? And if they did, fantastic. But if they didn't, where do you go from here? Use all the information that you've seen and heard today to complete your Gummy Bear Lab report. Great job, CW Bio. See you next time.